Welcome to Swim. I'm reading portions from Against Interpretations, and this is from Chapter 1, Against Interpretation, Part 5. In the most modern instances, interpretation amounts to the Philistine refusal to leave the work of art alone. Real art has the capacity to make us nervous by reducing the work of art to its content and then interpreting that. One tames the work of art. Interpretation makes art manageable, conformable. This Philistinism of interpretation is more rife in literature than in any other art. For decades now, literary critics have understood it to be their task to translate the elements of the poem, or play, or novel, or story into something else. Sometimes the writer will be so uneasy before the naked power of his art that he will install within the work itself, albeit with a little shyness, a touch of the good taste of irony, the clear and explicit interpretation of it. Thomas Mann is an example of such an over-cooperative author. In the case of more stubborn authors, the critic is only too happy to perform the job. The work of Kafka, for example, has been subjected to a mass ravishment by no less than 3 armies of interpreters. Those who read Kafka as a social allegory, see case studies of the frustrations and insanity of modern bureaucracy and its ultimate issuance in the totalitarian state. Those who read Kafka as a psychoanalytic allegory, see desperate revelations of Kafka's fear of his father, his castration anxieties, his sense of his own impotence, his thralldom to his dreams. Those who read Kafka as a religious allegory explain that K in the castle is trying to gain access to heaven, that Joseph K in the trial is being judged by the inexorable and mysterious justice of God. Another oval that has attracted interpreters like leeches is that of Samuel Beckett. Beckett's delicate dramas of the withdrawn consciousness, pared down to essentials, cut off, often represented as physically immobilized, are read as a statement about modern man's alienation from meaning or from God, or as an allegory of psychopathology, alienation. Proust, Joyce, Faulkner, Rilke, Lawrence, Gide. One could go on citing author after author. The list is endless of those around whom thick incrustations of interpretation have taken hold. But it should be noted that interpretation is not simply the compliment that mediocrity pays to genius. It is indeed the modern way of understanding something, and is applied to works of every quality. Thus, in the notes that Elia Kazan published on his production of A Streetcar Named Desire, it becomes clear that in order to direct the play, Kazan had to discover that Stanley Kowalski represented the sensual and vengeful barbarism that was engulfing our culture, while Blanche Dubois was Western civilization, poetry, delicate apparel, dim lighting, refined feelings and all, though a little the worse for wear to be sure. Tennessee Williams' forceful psychological melodrama now became intelligible. It was about something about the decline of Western civilization. Apparently, were it to go on being a play about a handsome brute named Stanley Kowalski and a faded mangy pale named Blanche Dubois, it would not be manageable.